Hello everyone. Today in this video we'll be discussing the important questions and which are repeated questions from the previous papers for the subject cloud computing. Okay. So I myself I am not from the cloud computing open elective. I have taken data mining, but when I went to the previous papers I found out some patterns and that are very easy. Like even if you give me the question paper now for cloud computing, I can get decent marks. Okay. So if you are from cloud computing background, don't worry at all. You will be very clear with the concepts what you have to focus on by the end of this video. Okay. So let's get started with the cloud computing, and if you are new to this channel, make sure you like the video and subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. So what I want to tell you is that before starting for any preparation, you need to know what is the whole thing, right? Because without knowing the whole thing, it's very hard to actually get the concepts of what is mentioned therein, right? So what you have to do is you have to know this roadmap. So in this roadmap I have mentioned the 5 modules and the concepts which are discussed in the 5 modules in the form of a story. Okay, so if you remember the concepts in this way, it will be easy for you to grasp the concepts as well as remember the important concepts. Okay, so there are totally of 5 modules. The first module I will just say the names first, then I will discuss what do they represent. Cloud computing and virtualization, classification of cloud and Aneka. Aneka is a tool, cloud tool, which is very important concept from exam point of view. And here we have the use of parallel computing and its frameworks. Then we have the data intensive and MapReduce concepts, and finally we have the applications and the end products, which is the final projects which we use, which are based on the framework of cloud. Okay, so what is the story is that you need to know the these 5 topics, right? What do the each module represent, that you need to know. If you know it anyways, then it's okay. If you don't know, you can remember the means topics in this story form. Okay, so there was a boy who was thinking of integrating the cloud with the computer. Okay, how to integrate the cloud with the computer and virtualize the concepts. That's the first module. Okay, it's talking about the first module, cloud computing and virtualization. Then a girl named as Aneka came, and she told that we can do this and we have to do few more things, make it more efficient and add some more tools. So firstly we will classify it into 3 parts: IaaS, SaaS and PaaS. Okay, these are very important concepts from exam point of view. And she told we will classify them, and when we have classified them we have to use the tools to make it more efficient. So what are those tools? The tools are parallel computing and its frameworks. The frameworks include some of the frameworks I'll discuss later, but by using that we'll make it more efficient. Okay, after that it's made efficient, we'll just means use all these computers to form a big computer which is data intensive as well as MapReduce. It uses the MapReduce functionality. Okay, after that we have the application and the end products. By using this computer we will be building the Google AppEngine, MS Azure, Amazon S3, CRM, ERP, ECG and media platforms for cloud. Okay, so quickly wrapping up what we discussed, there was a boy, he was thinking of integrating the cloud with the computer and virtualizing it. So a girl named as Aneka came and she told we have to classify them first into IaaS, SaaS and PaaS. Okay, after that is then we have to make the computer more efficient. So you'll be using the parallel computing and its frameworks, and we'll be using the different computers to form a big computer which is very fast, data intensive and it uses MapReduce. And by using this we'll be building the technologies which is Google in App Engine, MS Azure, Amazon S3, CRM, ERP and ECG and other media platforms for cloud computation. Okay, so this is the brief roadmap. If you are clear with the roadmap, you can go to the mind map. Okay, still I'm not going to the questions, I'm just going to the things which are present in these modules. Why is because unless you know the things very well, how can you know the details very well, right? First you need to know the things what are present here very clearly. So coming to the mind map, what are the different concepts are, this is the there are 2 pages here which discusses the important concepts. Okay, by important I mean each of these whatever I have written in this page and the next page, all are important and you will not regret studying any of these. Okay, if you study any of these it is worth it. Okay, so let's get started. In the module 1 we have cloud computing and virtualization. Okay, as I told you, the module 1 is about cloud computing and virtualization. So here are the cloud computing concepts and here is the virtualization concepts. Okay, in cloud computing we have these concepts, we'll discuss them later. Just have a look at these, whatever you can grasp, you grasp, or else we will be discussing them in detail as well, so no worries. So next one is the classification of cloud and Aneka. So in cloud classification we have these concepts, and in Aneka we have these concepts. Coming to module 3, the parallel computing and frameworks. These are the important concepts. Data intensive and MapReduce. These are the important concepts. And finally we have the theories of these four. Okay, means these are the different tools, and about the tools we need to know very well. Okay, so module 5 is pretty simple as compared to the other modules. So I think we can get started, and just I wanted to tell you that I don't know the details of these concepts, and I'll be just discussing what is the question, and what you have to write in the question, and where is the solution available. Okay, and the solutions are available in many places. So I have chosen some PDFs using which I'll be telling you which module you have to refer, which PDF, which page number. Okay, so that you can refer the page number and you can learn from there. Okay, so these are the questions which are present in module 1. So if they are repeated questions, I will be mentioning them as repeated. Here you can see the number of times it's repeated, as well as the page numbers are given. Okay, so for module 1 you have to use the PDF which is the cloud computing PDF. Okay, I'll tell you which one it is. So these are the questions. Have a look at the questions. There are totally how many questions? 11 questions. Okay, so 11 questions are just divided into two parts. See, the questions are very simple, like what is cloud is a separate question I have taken. Okay, it will not be asked separately for 8 marks, what is cloud, but still I have taken for your convenience. Okay, so it's not at all a big issue. You can easily complete it in one day itself if you focus the whole day. Okay, so what is the vision of cloud computing and what is cloud? Okay, so this for the module 1 you have to refer to the PDF which is let me show you the PDF. Here is the PDF for, yeah, this is the PDF which you have to refer. Okay, cloud computing and its applications. So here when you come to page 2, I had mentioned there as page 2, right? So vision of cloud computing you have to write from here. Okay, so you can go through it. I'll be not be explaining any of these answers. I'll be just telling you where the answers is, because I myself don't know what is its details. Okay, I just found out like where all the answers are present, and you're supposed to go through it. Okay, so in page 2 the vision of cloud computing is there. It basically talks about how cloud computing can change the technologies present as of now. Okay, so you have to mention a few points. If they ask you the definition of cloud, you have to write this one which is present in page 3, I guess. Yeah, page 3 it is there, defining cloud, and write a few points about cloud as well from your own words. Okay, so yeah, that's all what is there in the first question. And the second question, cloud and its applications. So that was about the cloud vision of cloud computing and cloud. You just have to write the definition and what is the vision means, how the cloud will change the technologies and the things happening currently in the world, that you have to discuss. And next, what is with a neat diagram, explain the cloud computing reference model. Okay, this is very important. It's repeated 6 times. Okay, it's one of the most repeated questions, and it's present in page number 6. So let's go to page number 6. So in page number 6 we find the cloud computing reference model. Okay, so here's a diagram also, I guess. No, it's just the theory. So you just have to explain the theory, but it had shown it you have to use the reference model as well. I'm not sure where the model is, because they have told it's described in figure 1.5. Where is figure 1.5? I think they have not included, so you can find it from the other notes, the picture, and make sure you draw the picture as well and write the theoretical concepts. It's the theoretical concepts are present in page number 6. Okay, the next question is brief the characteristics, benefits and challenges in cloud computing. Okay, it's present in page number 7. So let's go to page number 7. So here's the characteristics and benefits as well as the challenges ahead. So you can go through it and write the answers. Next we have explain the technologies and the platforms that play an important role in cloud computing. So it's repeated 5 times. It's in point 1 and it's present in page number 13. So let's go to page number 13. So here are the computing platforms and technologies like Amazon Web Services, Google AppEngine, Microsoft Azure, Hadoop, and Force or Salesforce.com, and Aneka, and yeah, those are the platforms and the tools which are used in cloud computing. Okay, those you have to mention and write a few words regarding each. What is virtualization? And virtualization is the second concept from the module 1. There are two concepts, right? The second one is virtualization. So here are some of the important things like the techniques, execution of virtualization, machine reference model, and the remaining topics are also in the same thing only. Characteristics, different levels of virtualization, theorem 1 and theorem 2, pros and cons, and Zen is means a type of virtualization which is para virtualization. So let's go through briefly for each of these. So it starts from page number 15 and extends up to page number 34. So let's go to page number 15, and yeah, virtualization starts here. You need to know what is the basic meaning of virtualization. You'll get it from here. And characteristics of virtualization, the next concept, important one. Yeah, these are the characteristics, which is increased security, managed execution, portability, and taxonomy of virtualization is also a repeated concept. So here is the diagram you have to make. Execution virtualization, this is also important. Machine reference model, with this diagram you have to explain. And hardware level virtualization, here we have hypervisors. This is also very important concept, hypervisors. Okay, and here we have the type 1 and type 2. Either they can ask about the hypervisors or they can ask about the type 1 and type 2 hypervisors. In both way the questions have been asked. Okay, and then we have theorem 1 and theorem 2. There are totally 3 theorems, but theorem 1 and 2 are important, okay, because those were asked. And we have power virtualization and operating level virtualization, and different types of virtualization are here: storage and network, desktop, application, and virtualization and cloud computing. Pros and cons, here are the advantages and disadvantages which you'll get. All these topics are really important. You will not regret studying any of these. Okay, whatever you study in this, it is helpful for you. Okay, Zen and power virtualization, this is the last concept in module 1. Okay, so these are the important concepts from module 1. Let's move on to the module 2. And if you remember, what was the module 2 about? It was about classification and Aneka. Okay, so these are the questions. How many questions are there? There are 5 questions. It's divided into 2 parts. The first part is the general classification regarding the cloud computing and its architecture, and then we have Aneka. Okay, this is very important one. So let's discuss the first part, which is cloud computing and the architecture of cloud computing. It's present in page number 37. So this is the cloud computing architecture. You have to make this as like a brief diagram. So if I were to make this diagram, what I will firstly focus upon is there are 3 parts here: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So there are 3 parts here. And what is the brief overview of it? This is divided into 4 parts, right? The system infrastructure, core, middleware, user level, and user application. It's basically 3 parts: user, and the middle part, and the system part. So in the system part, you will have the cloud resources, all the CPUs and the storage things, and in the user part, you will have the end products. In between, you will have them in between things like the virtual machine and SLA management, deployment, those things, right? So that's all what is there in the cloud architecture. You have to explain these 3 levels. Okay, cloud reference model, and yeah, there are mainly 3 types: SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Okay. So yeah, that's the first question, and the second question is also this one, like IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. It starts from page number 43 and it's repeated 6 times. It's very important. So let's go to page number 43 and see what is there. So yeah, here is the software as a service, and PaaS. This is PaaS, public. What was P for? Platform as a service. Okay, platform as a service. And IaaS, yeah, infrastructure or hardware as a service. Okay, these 3 definitions are directly available below this topic. Okay, so make sure you go through it before exam. Okay, and different types of cloud. There are 2 types of cloud: public cloud and private cloud, and the mixture of both of these, which is known as hybrid cloud. So you need to know the difference between all 3: public, private, and hybrid. By the name itself, you can write the some keywords regarding what is private, what is public. It will not be accessible by others, and private will be private will not be accessible, and public will be accessible. Hybrid means it's based on the context. See, I am telling this without going through the details. By the name itself, you can understand, right? So if you go through the details also, you will get more information. Okay, and community clouds also, it's based on the all the community people are present and they can access it. Yeah, those are the different types of clouds. And yeah, the next question is the economics of the cloud. what is the benefit of having the cloud in your business and the business models associated with that. It's present in page number 53, which is this one, so you can go through it to get more information regarding how profit will be earned by using the cloud technology. And the last topic is the Aneka, and it starts from the page 56. The important concepts here are, each of these concepts is repeated more than 4 times. Services of Aneka, features provided by Aneka, frameworks used by Aneka, deployment modes, private and public, and logical organization of Aneka. Okay, so it starts from page 56. Take your time, carefully go through it. So let's go to page number 56. So yeah, see here, this is the module 2, section 2. And what is Aneka? Aneka's framework and design. And here we have the platform abstraction layer, fabric service. These are the subtopics. Okay, and the main topics are foundation services, important one, and yeah, deployment models, very important, private cloud deployment and public cloud deployment, and hybrid cloud deployment. Management tools of Aneka. Yeah, so these are the important topics. So whatever I had mentioned there, like these are the topics. Each of these topic you need to know under the main concept of Aneka. Okay, so if you know these concepts, you are good to go for the module 3. Let's move on. So what is there in the module 3 is, the main thing is the parallel computing and its frameworks, right? What I told is parallel computing and its frameworks. So what is in parallel computing? In parallel computing we have the threads and process. So what is the difference between thread and process, and what is its relationship, that you have to know. And how can parallel computation be achieved using threads? What is multi-threading with Aneka? The difference between Aneka threads and local threads, very important concept. And it's repeated 7 times. The domain and functional decomposition, very important one. Okay, list the explain the 2 types of threads API, the API of the threads, and the computing categories for task computing. And list and explain popular frameworks, application models with Aneka, and task programming, MPI reference, workflow, and task libraries. So these are very important concepts. Okay, so let's take each concept one by one and see what is the key points in it. Give a brief overview of the parallel work computing. Okay, it's present in page number 72 of the same PDF. Okay, so let's go to page number 72. So here's the introduction for the parallelism for single machine computation. Then we have the program and application with threads, what is thread and what is multitasking, and techniques for the parallel computation with thread. This is very important one. It's repeated 7 times. The difference between domain decomposition and functional decomposition, more information is here, you can go through it. Okay, so here are some diagrams also, make sure you understand these diagrams very well. And also you have to mention in the first decomposition, the domain decomposition, the matrix product, and in the functional decomposition you have to mention the sine, cos, and tan equation. Okay, so this is some of the key concepts. And multi-threading with Aneka, see all these concepts what I am mentioning, it's present here, right? Parallel computing first we look, then thread and need diagram, parallel computation with threads, multi-threading with Aneka, and the difference between Aneka threads and local threads. Don't ever miss this topic. Okay, it's very important. So where is the difference between Aneka thread and local thread? Yeah, this is the topic, Aneka thread versus common thread. Okay, so there are some concepts, you can go through it and make sure you learn it very well. Okay, after that what we have is the programming application with Aneka threads. Let's see what is the question in that. 2 types of threads API, 2 types of threads API, and task computing, application models with Aneka. Okay, so actually the third module, the only half part is present in the notes which I am referring currently, and the next half you have to refer from Take It Easy Engineers third module notes. Okay, so programming application with Aneka threads is present here, so but it's ended here and the fourth module is started. So what you have to do is you have to go to the Take It Easy Engineers third module notes. Okay, so this is the third module notes, to go to page number 17. Okay, so this is the page number 17 and here we will be continuing from there. So what I told is task computing, so I think it's before that. Yeah, see here, this is the programming application with Aneka threads, the Aneka threads application model, and the domain decomposition, matrix multiplication, and for the functional decomposition you have to use sine, cos, and tan. Okay, so those are the programming application. Then we have high throughput computing. So what is present in high throughput computing is the computing categories for the task computing and application models and the frameworks. After that we have the task programming, MPI reference sequence, very important, workflow and task libraries and sweep application. So all of these are present in the Take It Easy Engineers notes, so easily you can figure it out where it's present. In page number 17, the first important question is the computing categories, a very important question, and the first one is the high performance computing, high throughput computing, many task computing, and then we have the frameworks for task computing. These both questions are important. Okay, so here are some frameworks, you can go through it. And we have the task based application models. In that, the most important one is the parameter sweep applications. Okay, so you can go through that for more information. And MPI applications. In MPI applications, these are the important concepts, and this is the diagram for the reference scenario. They have explicitly asked about the reference scenario if I show you in the questions which I have written. So here they have asked for the reference scenario. See here in the MPI reference scenario, this is the direct question also. Okay, discuss the MPI program structure with a neat diagram. Okay, so that's the same thing present in page number 22. Okay, so in page number 22 it's present, so make sure you go through it and learn this one. Okay, after that we have the program structure, MPI program structure. Make sure you include this also in the answer paper. Then we have the last topic, which is the workflows, and then we have the task libraries. Okay, so workflow, what is a workflow and the technologies used in the workflow, it's present in page number 25. And offspring, this also the explicit question which is asked, like directly they have asked about the offspring. Aneka task based programming. So Aneka task based programming, some of the models are there. Task programming model. Okay, task programming model is also the repeated question. So the task computing model, yeah, this is a task computing model. Okay, application models with Aneka. In that, the subtopic is a task programming model. As well as it's asked here, what is task programming, and explain the task programming model. So that's the same thing, task programming model, right? See here, this is a task programming model, and if they ask the Aneka based task based programming model, application model, you have to mention this same thing. And then we have the developing with application with task model, and a subtopic which is the last topic, the important one, is the task libraries. Okay, this is also the repeated concept. Okay, so that's all what is there important in the module 3 of cloud. So let's move on to the module 4 and see what is their important things. Okay, so in the module 4 what we have is, so for the module 4 we have to use the VTU pulse nodes. Okay, so in that there are two things, the data intensive as well as the MapReduce. Two topics are there, data intensive and MapReduce. So you need to know what is data intensive computing and explain the open challenges to the data intensive computing, very important concept, repeated 5 times. Explain the reference scenario, characteristics and applications in data grid. This is the second topic. Third topic, the technologies which are used, GFS, Apache, Amazon SS, that I will show you what are the important concepts. MapReduce programming model, Aneka map reducing, and 3 distributed file system. This is more than sufficient if you learn these main topics, because these are really very important topics. Okay, okay, so because they have repeated means large number of times. The module 4 is very small, so the smaller the module, the same topics are more means going to be repeated, right? So that's what is there in the module 4. So we will be referring the notes, which is the VTU Pulse module 4 notes. Okay, so this is the data intensive computing. What is MapReduce programming? What is data intensive computing? It's present here. And then we have the characteristics of the data intensive computing, and yeah, those things are present there. And the next one is data grids. Data grids is also important concept, so you can go through it. And technologies for data intensive computing. So in technologies, the important concepts are IBM General Parallel File System, Google File System, very important concept because it's repeated a large number of times. Amazon Simple Storage Service, Amazon S3. In NoSQL, the important one is Apache and Amazon Dynamo. Google Bigtable, this is means explicitly repeated 3 times. Okay, and here's the architecture for Amazon, and Apache Cassandra, Hadoop, And yeah, those were the important concepts. And then we have the programming platforms, MapReduce programming model. This is the architecture of MapReduce computation workflow. And yeah, these are the frameworks used in MapReduce. So if I show you where those things I have written is, see the brief overview. So this is module 3. Module 4, the data intensive computing, the open challenges are also present there. Scenario characteristics and data grid, that will also present in the second page. Important technologies, this is also present. And MapReduce programming model, and we are left with Aneka MapReducing and 3 distributed file systems. So Aneka MapReducing is very important concept. Okay, then what we have, I have anyways mentioned the page numbers there, so you need not search in the PDF. So this is about the Aneka map reducing. So here are some programs. I guess you have to memorize those programs, but I'm not sure because I don't know actually what it means, those things. I just knew the answers. I just got to know that the answers are present there. Yeah, this is the last concept, which is distributed file system. And before that, what are the programs you saw? Those are the APIs for Aneka. Okay, so I'm not sure what all you have to remember in that, but those are the important concepts and which are repeated many number of times. Okay, so yeah, that's all, and the remaining concepts are not that important. What are the topics I mentioned for module 4? That's important. Okay, so let's move on to the last topic, which is the module 5. And module 5, what we have is, so this is the module 5. Okay, so it's a really short topic. It's a really short module. So here we have a few more repeated concepts, which are, means the shorter the module, the more repeated concepts will be there, right? So these are the very important, you can't miss any of these. Okay, but the name itself I can tell what are important: Google App Engine, Animoto, Microsoft Azure, CRM in ERP, Amazon Web Services, cloud computing to support ECG, cloud platforms, and media technologies. Okay, that's the same thing I've mentioned in the roadmap also. So if you take a snapshot of roadmap, like just close your eyes. Okay, just look at it and close your eyes, you'll get a snapshot in your mind. Okay, so Google App Engine, MS Azure, Amazon S3, CRM, ERP, ECG, media and platform for cloud computing. These are the things you need to know, the concepts in each of these. So it's present in module 5 notes. This is the module 5 notes. So here what we have is the 2 chapters, chapter number 10 and chapter number 9. Okay, so I have mentioned the page numbers as well. So if I show you, can go through it. So I will not be going for the module 5. Page number 17, page number 10, page number 20, page number 6, 13, 15, page number 2, 13 and 10. Okay, so if I take any like page number 13 and 15, so if I show you how you have to fetch the information is page number 13, right? So page number 13, what is present? Amazon Web Services. Yeah, see here you'll get the Amazon Web Services page, and here you have to brief out what is Amazon Web Services, and if there are any diagrams, just make it briefly what is the diagram about. And yeah, that's all. These are the 2 things you have to mention in Amazon Web Services, as well as I mentioned page number 15, right? So yeah, in Amazon page number 15, there is specifically asked about the S3 key concepts, because sometimes they have asked about the S3 key concepts separately. Okay, for that you have to write some few points about what is S3 key concepts and how you can use it in the daily life for cloud computing. Okay, and some functions are available, you can go through it. So this is how you have to fetch the information and write the answers. So yeah, that's all what is there in the important concept which is there in module 5, actually in the whole cloud computing. So make sure you go through these concepts, and you can easily score decent marks in this. And this is all what I could do with the time I have, and I had not taken cloud computing also. So yeah, that's all for this video, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.